with another episode.
Woohoo!
Woo. So we're just two idiot girls. My name is Deison.
My name is Drew.
And today, as you can see, according to the name of the episode, we love a good comfort show. I tell you what.
Period. We do.
So we decided to do this episode because Drew's gotten so many inquiries on her Instagram to talk about, obviously, Euphoria is like the most famous TV show that's out right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was honestly the biggest inspiration to do this. And we also wanted to do an episode that's a little more lighthearted since the last two have been kind of intense.
Yeah, we've been real heavy lately.
Yeah, real intenso, as we like to call it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of have like a quick break in between where we kind of just talk about something really lighthearted and something that we love. Yeah, and fun. We have loved TV forever.
Yeah.
Something we've always bonded over is TV shows, so we're super excited to be doing an episode on this. So
yeah,
we wanted to
Deison went to film school, so Deison
I always forget that.
She loves film, she loves TV, so she's always plugged into the hottest and the up and coming and the Oscar buzz and all that stuff. Not me, but she is, so she always keeps me in the loop.
Yeah, so we're just going to jump right into the thick of it. We're going to start off with Euphoria. So
because that's what our inspo for this week.
Obviously the inspo. And so in terms of Euphoria, I knew about this show before it was about to come out because I went to film school. So of course I love A24 and they're one of the biggest producers on the show.
Yeah.
So I saw them promoting it. Like, what is it? When did it come out? In like 2019 or so? And
I believe so.
Yeah. And then so I saw them promoting it, but they didn't say what it was about. So it created all this buzz. And I'm all, dude, anything with Zendaya in it, I will watch like wholeheartedly.
Right. Period.
So I love watching the show because obviously I think the plot is really interesting. I think the way they film it is really beautiful.
Yeah.
The music is like arguably one of the best parts of the whole show is the music that they choose for the background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I loved it so much. One of my favorite characters is Kat. I was her for Halloween.
That's right. I forgot about that.
She was Thana from whatever, I think it was Miss 45 or something like that. But anyways, I was Kat in her Halloween costume for my Halloween costume.
Yeah.
And so so I've always really loved the show, but I had told Drew, hey, like I'm watching this new show. And this was before it had kind of gotten the buzz that it did.
Yeah.
And I told you it's kind of heavy. So, because what we have done our entire lives is I will watch something first and then I'll tell Drew, okay, yeah, you can watch it.
Yeah.
Just because things affect her so much deeper, especially for TV. Out of all the things that don't affect me, TV and movies will just roll off my back. Like I'll just forget about it.
And same for me. Like of all the things that don't affect me, the one thing that does is like any form of media that's like TV or movie shows, TV shows or movies. Oh my God. When they're like
a picture
with the pictures, when they're really, really heavy, or they deal with really serious topics, surrounding certain things, especially, I cannot watch them. Like they'll literally make me sick. So Daison's like my first line of defense. Like she typically, because we a lot of times want to watch the same stuff. Daison watches a lot of artsy stuff that I don't watch, but she always tells me like, hey, I think you're good to watch this. Like, if you want to watch this, you should watch this. Or if I want to watch something, I'll tell her, have you watched this yet?
That's how you ask me, hey, should I watch this? If I ever tell Drew to watch something, I feel like she already files it under, I'm not going to watch that.
That's not necessarily true. But
Name one thing that I've showed you. I'm all, dude, you should watch this. It's so good that you watched.
I told you already. She told me to watch all the Disney shows, the Disney Plus shows, like WandaVision.
Oh, the Marvel stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I cannot talk today.
WandaVision.
WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki. Right. Those are all shows that she told me to watch because she was watching them as they were being uploaded, like one episode at a time. And I'm someone who likes to wait till they're all out because I'm impatient, so I don't like to wait either. But I was really behiand the ball, but I still watched all of them and highly recommend. Loki was one of my favorite shows.
It's more fun to watch it while it comes out though, because then like me and my brother love Straw Hat Goofy. He's in J Subes, two of my favorite creators. Yeah. That we're both obsessed with. So I love watching the episode, and as soon as it's done, I go on to TikTok and I'm like, okay, what theories do these people have? Because I need to know for the next one.
Well, that's a perfect example of her giving me suggestions and I was late, but I did watch them.
But then you lose all the fun. So she's like, can you send me all the Straw Hat TikToks? No, you go look at them yourself.
I have to go back in the archives because I'm so behind the ball on them.
So yeah, so in terms of Euphoria, so I really like the show, and I know that Drew would like it, but because the topics obviously are really heavy and intense and will stick with her for so much longer than they're supposed to, he doesn't watch it.
Well, and also I always like try to be mindful of what I'm doing at the time. So like when I'm really busy, I cannot watch stuff like that because it will hinder me from performing and completing all of my tasks that I have to do, because that's all I think about, because my anxiety like locks onto it. I don't know why. Like
it's a hyper obsession. That's insane. Yeah.
Literally, I cannot stop it. That's how I was when I watched Vampire Diaries.
Yeah,
and
my Mad Fat Diary. Remember
oh my god, yeah, I told you about that show.
Yeah,
which is such a great show, right? So and also dealt with really heavy topics too, but it wasn't like Euphoria heavy. But it was in the same neighborhood, I would say, because they dealt with really serious topics. But I literally cannot stop thinking about it to the point where I have to like look stuff up. I have to try to find the next episode. Like, so it just like it hinders my productivity to an unhealthy extent. So I'm like, okay, I can't watch stuff like that. And also it might make me really sad or really like anxious or really upset. So I like can't afford to watch them when I am in a certain state. So like what we decided, I tweeted about this the other day, that's what inspired this episode, was I asked excuse me, I asked Deison to give me the rundown on the episodes. So like she gives me recaps.
She's never watched the show. Imagine this. Ever watched the show. So she doesn't know anyone's name except for Zendaya. So she only knows Rue. So then she goes, hey, what are all these jokes people are making about season 2, episode 1? So she's never watched the show. I go, oh, well, Nate and Cassie. And she goes, who's that? So then I'm using their real names. I'm like, oh, it's Jacob Elordi, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're with Maddie. Who's Maddie? Then I go,
well, not only that, but I was seeing all these TikToks about her name's Cassie, right? Cassie, like that's her character's name, about her titties being out. And I was like, I don't get these jokes. Like I want to laugh at the jokes and I don't understand. I don't get them.
The jokes. She goes, who's Fez? I'm like, stop. You have to watch the whole show or it doesn't make sense. So then I told her I will rewatch season 1 and I'll write down what times to skip, because there's only a couple scenes that I know she won't like.
Yeah.
And that'll make her like sick and whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll rewatch it with you or ahead of you. And then she's like, no, just tell me what happens. I already looked at the Wikipedia. I'm all, stop asking me. What are you doing?
Well, because there are certain nuances that they don't always put. So I have to ask Deison. So I was literally going, all right, break this down for me. Because I was like seeing little like spoilers, but they're not spoilers to me because I haven't watched them. So
what is it spoiling?
Yeah, it's not spoiling anything. So I literally asked Deison to give me recaps. And so when I tweeted about it, I was like, this is something I want to be included in so badly, but I just know that my brain cannot handle this show. Like not right now anyway. I'm gonna need to wait till my things level out a little bit. I get less busy, then maybe I can commit. And that'll probably be when the show's finished, like fully put out on HBO. That's probably when I'll watch it. This time next year, check in with me again. I'll probably be gone.
You're like, oh my gosh, have we watched season 2? Girl, they're already on season 3. I'm not even.
Yeah, literally. They'll be in the middle of, they'll be about to launch season 3 and I'll have just finished season 1 and 2. So
yeah,
that's why I'm like, I asked Deison, and so she literally sits and gives me summaries of each episode, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I go on YouTube and I look up the scenes that she describes to me so I can understand.
Well, and then like, sometimes, because I love looking, that's why I always try to watch it on Sunday when it comes out, so I get all the jokes and nothing gets spoiled for me. But then sometimes there, especially in this last episode, there was so much stuff happening. So like, and I feel like they don't usually do that. I don't remember feeling this stressed out while watching an episode of the show, but I was like trying to keep track of everything. So there was a scene with Nate's dad, who's McSteamy from Grey's Anatomy, that I completely forgot about, that everyone was talking about. And I was like, that was not in the episode. What are they talking about? And then
it's funny because when you told me, you're like, yeah, when she gave me my summary for the week about episode 2, she told me about that scene. And I was like, Oh, okay. And then I was trying to look up the scenes that you were describing to me so I could understand exactly what happened
You
and
watch
who.
that scene. This has to do with the butt for everyone for
Yeah,
clarification. But
I
you watch
saw it.
that scene on, they had it on YouTube.
No, no, no. I was
Nate's
I'm
dad.
I mean, I'm sure they do somewhere on YouTube, but
Mhm.
that's not the scenes I watched. I just watched the highlight ones, the highlights
Okay.
that you had told me about. And then I went on HBO Max and I was trying to watch the episode, but I was like scrubbing through a lot of times because I
Oh,
was just in
okay.
case
Yeah.
I saw something that made me feel weird. So when I was scrubbing through it, I saw it in the very
Got
beginning,
it. Okay.
but I think I would have missed it had she not told me. I don't think I would
Yeah.
have.
I literally was like, what part is everyone
It was
talking
like
about?
really fast.
No,
It
I
was really
know, but he
fast.
does talk while it's happening. So I
I
think that's what I was
know.
focusing on. Like, I was just like, what is he doing? So it just
Well,
made
the
me
way
laugh.
it's shot is kind of like deceiving too. It's hard to understand
What exactly he's doing.
unless
Yeah,
you're
I
not
agree.
listening. Yeah, if you're not listening, you wouldn't really know what it was. When you're listening and then you put the pieces together, you're like,
I
okay.
think I was, yeah, because you know how that part was so choppy. There was so
Yeah.
much happening. I think that's
Yeah.
why I couldn't even process what he was doing because he says what he's doing.
I
But
know.
I
I know,
forgot.
dude.
Not us
Oh
giggling like
my
we're
God.
so embarrassed.
I know.
But
I'm like giggling about it. Like I watched it and I didn't. I just
but
like
it's
got it
such a
from
good
him.
show. But you can't process things like that.
Yeah, well,
So
and I literally was telling Daison that like I thought that I was alone in that. Like I know some people just don't care for it. They just don't want to watch it. And some people can't watch it because it's too triggering for them, which I understand too. So we talked about it because Daison gives me recaps. So I got so many DMs and messages about they're like, can she do a recap for me too? Because I also want to be included in the jokes and I want to know what's going on, but I like physically I can't watch it because it's too triggering for me personally, which
mhm.
I totally understand. And I think that's why a lot of
Yeah.
times the stars say that too when they are talking about the launch. Like I saw Zendaya's post about like,
Mhm.
just remember, like, you don't have to watch it if it's too triggering for you. And no, I still love you and appreciate your support regardless, whatever. So I think they're well aware too of how triggering it can be
Mhm.
because they go over some really serious stuff. So
Yeah.
Daison's like going to do recaps on Mondays.
And the way I explain things to my sister is very trigger friendly as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so then she does a drug. Who knows what
Yeah.
kind? Because I also don't know what she's doing half the time in the
Yeah.
show, you know?
Yeah.
So
So that's something that was like super inspiring for us this week because we were talking about that show
mhm.
and we were talking about why there are certain shows I can watch all the time and why I hardly ever watch new shows,
She always
especially
watches the same
I
shows. Not
watch the
hardly
same.
ever. She always watches the same shows.
I like once in a blue moon I'll watch a new show.
Maybe, if that, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, if that. But like it's so funny because Billy's the exact same way. He's just like me. So like works out perfectly. You know what I mean?
Very routine type of folks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm a planner. I'm a
Whereas I
Virgo.
like want to watch a new show all the time. I'm like, oh, I need
I
a new show to
know.
watch. Yeah.
Well, you know who else is a Virgo? Zendaya. So
Oh,
there
is
you
she
go.
really?
Yeah, she's a September Virgo, just like me.
Oh, okay.
The most Virgo of Virgos, period.
I don't know what that has to do with what I do.
I'm
But
saying
yeah,
maybe she's like
but
me, is what I'm
go
saying.
off,
Maybe
go
she's like
off.
me.
I guess I'm like basically Zendaya is what you're
I
trying to
guess
say.
we're really close, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so I'm gonna post my recaps on Mondays on Instagram. Is like
Yeah, let's
the
start with
idea.
Instagram because then you'll be able to see feedback there and then they can tell
Mhm.
you if they want you to branch to another platform. But yeah, highly recommend because Daison summarizes things for me. It's also very entertaining the way she describes it to me. So it's like I'm watching the show. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm like, okay, perfect. When she's describing it to me. And
Mhm.
that way we can all be in on the jokes together, just like
Yeah.
me.
Without actually having to like digest the show. Yeah.
Exactly. So
So the next, we're just gonna roll into the next part where we're talking about comfort shows and certain shows we love to watch. I don't like to watch the same things over and over again. My sister is
yeah.
not the same way. So right now, so what are your comfort shows that you could watch over and over again?
For me, it's like The Office, right? Which I will say this. People who say The Office is overrated, I think are just trying to be different because objectively speaking, that show is so fucking funny. I think we can all agree on that.
I think it's like how I feel about Friends.
Yeah.
So that's another comfort show of Drew's is
Yeah,
Friends.
it's Friends, but it's mostly like, it's not because I've been a fan of Friends forever or anything like that. It's literally once Daison got HBO Max, I was like, I mean, I might as well watch it because it's on here. That's what everybody was
Yeah.
talking about. And it's just like a feel-good show. So it's like something you can put on in the background, like if you fall asleep to TV,
It's
you
not
can put that on.
stressful.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
stressful, it's light, it's funny, it's easy. So like that's kind of like why Friends is in that category with me. But The Office, I genuinely enjoy watching a million times. And then Bake Off, like the Great
Oh
British Baking Show.
man.
Dude, the Great British Baking Show is a show that I will be on their ass as long as they're live. I will watch every new season. I adore that show. That show is one of my favorite shows of all fucking time. It's just like the best show ever. And honestly,
It's so good.
it's so good. Honestly, shout out to my friend Tina Yen. She's the one who actually told me to watch that show because she in college she was like, I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. And then I like binged all the seasons in like 2 days because I loved it
It's
so
just
much.
so cute because everyone's so nice and
Yeah.
they all just want to win, but they also help each other. And
Yeah.
then everything looks so good. And like
And it's
the music. And then I used to hate the hosts. I'm like, they're dumb, they're boring. But I really like the two they have
boo.
right now, Noel, and I
Yeah.
don't remember the other guy's name is, the bald guy.
Yeah.
But I love the combination of the two of them. Like, because I just loved this last season that they did.
Dude, you're tripping, dog. The original, the OG hosts, I loved them too. I honestly love all the hosts, and I loved Mary Berry, and I loved that they brought in Prue also. So like I
Yeah.
love Paul
Did
Hollywood. So
I almost called her Prin. Good thing you talked before me. Whoops.
I know all of their names for the most part anyway. But that show is like, I think the best part about it is that it's so feel good. Like it just makes you feel happy and relaxed and they're so long. The episodes are so long. They're like an hour. So like that's something that's so calming for me. And it's so cute because they're literally competing for just like the title. They're not competing for money or anything like that.
I think that they're legally not allowed to compete for money. Like any show that's on the BBC. No, I saw a TikTok or something that said like shows that are on there. I think because it's government ran, they're not allowed to give out money or something like that. I can't remember.
But even then, like the show's been on for years. Like so people compete
and
every
they still
year
want to be on it. They don't care.
To get on. It's truly just for the love of baking, which I'm just like, I just think is the sweetest thing ever. And like me and Billy always talk because I put Billy on that show and he loves that show too. So like I think the funniest part is like at the end when they do like the epilogue. So like all of them hanging out after the show.
Yeah, the post show.
That shit like makes me cry. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad they're friends.
I wept throughout the season finale for the most recent season. It was
I
so
know.
good.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then I remembered too, I saw a TikTok on my For You page from Christelle from this last season, and I commented on it, and she liked my comments like, thanks, love, something like that. And I was like, oh my god, like I'm like, she saw my comment.
Bake Off finalists liked
literally one of the Bake Off finalists.
She was so good. Yeah.
She was so good.
No spoilers, but she's really good.
Yeah, but if my main man didn't win, I was rooting for her. So that's why I'm like, it's been out long enough that if you haven't watched it,
that's your fault.
That's your fault. That's on you. But I literally, me and Billy always like try and pick at the first episode of every new season. I try to like pick someone that I think is going to make it all the way to the end, or if not win. So I was riding with Giuseppe from the jump.
Me too. I loved him the most.
Right. I picked him from the jump. I was like,
him and Chigs. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, Chigs and the whole
Joe Rogan
thing.
Rip.
This is what they'd say, never meet your heroes.
Right. So and then the last comfort show is like if Drew is a doll and we pulled a string, she would always say, oh my gosh, this reminds me of that one episode of Family Guy. She watches that show way too much, and it's like inhumane. It's like out of control. I can't take it anymore.
Dude, hold on. Let me preface something really quick, okay? With Family Guy, I know it's not for everyone. Trust me. I understand it's controversial and everything like that. I want to tell you, I don't watch the earlier seasons because they honestly suck to me. I think they're the worst. So it's like season like 6 and on is like money to me. And I tell Deison all the time, like, that show is funny because of the very nuanced humor in it. It's like so specific, which is why it makes me laugh. And then some of them, they're generalities and they can be offensive and all of that stuff, which we understand, right? Everybody knows. But a lot of times the humor in it is almost like the layering of it. So like, I'll give you an example. There was a TikTok that was going viral and I was getting tagged in it because a lot of misogynistic dudes were like, exactly. And it's like this scene where Peter's saying like, what's one thing men have done wrong for the world? And then he lists all of these things
Yeah.
because
Okay.
men are responsible for all of the
Yeah. Like
problems in
war
this.
and famine and
Yeah, he lists all of these things like which are very real. And so men are like, oh, haha, exactly. Like, what did men? And I'm like, you're missing the joke. The joke is on you. The joke is literally that it is all men's fault. Like everything in the world. Like if you take all those things off the table, there's nothing that men have done wrong.
Yeah.
That's the joke. But like it makes it funnier that some dudes like that are too
It goes
stupid
over
to
their
understand.
head.
Yeah, that they're the butt of the joke. Like the butt of the joke is that he's a horrible husband and father. That's the joke. Like that's
Yeah,
literally the
it's not
joke.
like a fake family or
Yeah, and it's
okay.
not like they're amplifying, like they're like, oh, look how cute it is that he's a terrible husband and father. The joke is that he is horrible and that he doesn't understand why he's so horrible, why people don't like him. Like that's the
Yeah.
joke. So like that's I just want to put that out there because I don't want anyone to get mad at me that I like Family Guy, but it's more so just like the really specific humor that really makes
Yeah,
me fucking
sure,
laugh.
sure.
It's silly shit. You know what I mean? It's nothing serious. Like I told Daison a scene about a slinky once, and I was literally crying, laughing, telling her about
Yeah,
it.
those are the parts that are the funniest, I would
Yeah,
agree.
exactly. They're just it's silly. It's silly
Mhm.
shit. So, but yeah, those are my comfort shows.
Yeah. So my comfort shows right now it's Parks and Rec. So I've watched all of The Office. I've watched like I think some of Friends. I don't think I'll ever go back to Friends,
Yeah.
but I am on Parks and Rec right now. And then I love that show because it reminds me so much of the real world, the real job that you and I used to have with
Yeah.
post
Yeah, that's so
college and
true.
stuff like that. So it's made by the same guys who did The Office. So of course it's gonna be really funny.
Yeah. And the
Um
format's like the same too, I
yeah,
feel
the
like.
documentary style. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, there's a new show out right now called Abbott Elementary that was created by Quincy Brunson.
Oh yeah.
I just started watching it last night. It's filmed the same type of documentary style, but it's
Yeah.
so funny. I'm recommending it. Drew's not going to watch it, but for all
I'm
of you
gonna
who are listening,
try.
whatever. For all of you who are listening, please watch it because it's very funny and really well done. And I think it's really cool that Quincy wrote it. And then
That's
my
awesome.
other two comfort shows are The Great British Break Off. This most recent season I watched during very like intense time of my life.
Tumultuous
And so
season.
every Friday I'd be like, oh my God, it's Bake Off Day. I have to have a good day because today I get to watch the
Right.
Bake Off. So
Right.
I love that show. And then another show that came out on Fridays when I was going through this really tough time is one of my favorite TV shows, I think of all time. It's probably the only show I think I could rewatch over and over again, and that's Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
The love I have for Jason Sudeikis and that man in this show, it's just so good. It sucks that it's on Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called because you have to have like multiple platforms to watch all this stuff. But
Yeah.
it's just so well done. It's so cute and innocent and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And you see so much of yourself in him more than you thought you would in other characters, but it's just really well done. And everyone on the show is really cool. And
Yeah.
super,
Well,
super
that's one that I know I have to watch
yeah.
because, and it's so funny because Daison had told me, I think at the time she was talking about Ted Lasso something, and I was telling her, I've never, like, I thought it was a different show. What was the other show I thought it was? It was that sketch comedy show that you really liked.
Oh, I think you should leave with
I think
Tim
you should leave,
Robinson,
which is also
which
hilarious.
one of my favorite shows. And
Yeah.
because I watched because the episodes are so short, so you can watch them really fast. So when
Yeah.
Drew came over when I was watching it, I was like rewinding and going, "Get watch this one," like
Yeah.
pausing and
Well,
playing.
yeah. So I thought when she would tell me about Ted Lasso, I thought she was talking about that show. And I was
Mhm.
like, that sketch comedy show has been it's still going on. And you were like, no, no, that's not a completely different show. And I
Mhm.
remember telling you, I was like, dude, I don't think anyone's gonna know. Like, I don't know. I haven't heard anyone talk about Ted Lasso. Like, that's what I was telling her. And she
Yeah,
was like, dude, everybody's watched this
they
show.
won like 1,000 Emmys
Yeah, and
earlier
I
last
go,
year. Yeah.
really? Because I'm just so out of like when it comes to TV and movies, I'm a grandpa. Like I don't know anything. I'm not plugged in nearly enough, right? For someone who does work on social media, you think I would know a little bit more, but I don't. So
Mhm.
then I was like, oh, really? And then I remember I did a Q&A or something on Instagram, and so many people asked me, have you watched Ted Lasso yet? So many fucking people asked
Because
me
it's
like,
so
I know,
funny.
that's what I'm saying. And then I told Daison, and she was like, I fucking told you. Like,
It's
I told you
true.
everybody's watched that show. And then when I would go to LA for or when I would walk around drive around LA for work stuff, there's literally so many billboards dedicated to Ted Lasso, and I was like, have I been just walking around with my fucking eyes closed? I literally just
because I don't think it got the hype it got right now until because they just finished. I think I just watched season 3. Yeah, because I think there's 3 of them out. I can't, or no,
maybe
2.
It was just like the beginning because you were on the front lines when that show first came out.
No, I was like a year off. It came out during,
really?
The reason it did so well was because it came out during 2020 during the pandemic.
You're right,
so everyone was home. So I watched, so I watched season 2. I think I've watched season 1 and 2. So they're working on 3 right now.
Yeah.
But no, it's just so funny and really cute. And he goes through a lot of like real life things, but he's such a sweet character that you feel for him all the time.
Yeah.
And he's just so cute. And
that's something I definitely have to watch.
I recommend everyone to watch the show. I'm like, are you having a bad day? You should watch Ted Lasso. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we watch a lot of different types of TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're kind of on opposite ends a lot of times, like because I'm so like normal stuff, you know what I mean? I'm so normal, and Daison's across the board everything. So like funny, like she was telling me, I told you to watch the iCarly reboot and you never watched that.
It's true, and it was really funny.
Also, you know what's funny? I heard that How I Met Your Father, that reboot, I heard it's really good.
I can't wait to watch it.
I know, I heard it's so good. So I was like, and I love Hilary Duff. I've loved Hilary Duff forever.
Dude, shout out Teffy. She got to interview Hilary Duff on
I know,
Instagram
I saw.
Live.
Oh my gosh, we love
so
Teffy.
Cool.
Teffy, my angel, my twin flame. I love her. But yeah, I heard such good things about that show. So I was like, damn, where's that show on again?
It's on Hulu.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so that's one. I think it's a Hulu exclusive show, and then Abbott Elementary is also, it's on ABC, but you can watch it on Hulu after they come out.
Nice. Yeah, so see, like those are like the new stuff. Like it, unless it's like super prominent, like Euphoria, I'm not gonna know anything about it. Like,
yeah, sure.
I'm gonna have no semblance of like understanding or like anything like that.
We were talking about the show Yellow Jackets because I don't have Showtime and I don't know how to get it, and I'm not going to pay for another thing right now.
Yeah.
But I was trying to figure out how to watch it for free because everyone's talking about it. And Drew's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I see everyone talking about it, but I'm not going to pay to watch it.
No, I literally told Deison, I was like, when I saw people mention Yellow Jackets, I thought they were talking about those things in the Hunger Games. And I was like, what? Like I was literally like, the tracker jackers or
whatever they're called.
I literally was like, why is everyone talking about the Hunger Games?
The Hunger Games came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah, you guys are so late to the party.
Now they're these bugs. Yeah.
Now that I know that it's a completely new show, I'm like, what? Like I'm just so behind on everything. But Daison's always like, no, it's like she like explains it to me, and I'm like,
oh my gosh, yeah. Like I used to watch like Riverdale and like all.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know how you watch that show. I don't know how y'all watch.
I can't watch it anymore. I tried the new season once they put them on Netflix, and I was all, I think I've had enough. I've had a mouthful, and I'm over it. So I do like All American though. That is a really good show.
Seen so many people kid about both those shows, and they're like, these shows are literally camp. Like they can't be real. Like they can't.
No, but not All American. All American is because some of the football skills are a little questionable. I don't know anything about football, but
Riverdale.
But Riverdale makes absolutely no so the whole first season is about them trying to figure out who killed Cheryl's twin brother. Right. Okay. That's the whole first season. So it's very campy because it's like you can't tell, they all have iPhones, but everything is like 50s style. Like the nurses still wear like little white dresses with pinstripe. Like it's like old stuff like that. So it's like,
it's just so confusing.
And then like the second season goes into, they're playing like, I think like Dungeons and Dragons, like a variation of that. And then it becomes like a real life game. And then they start like dying slowly. And then it keeps going. Then this most recent season had aliens in it, but they weren't aliens. So that's why I was like, it's too much. I'm over it. I've seen enough. I'm done here, you know?
Well, that's exactly how I felt about, okay, first of all, we were on the front lines with Glee, right? So we loved Glee. Like, oh my god, we were
at heart.
Listen. We're being so upfront about being Gleeks. I am not ashamed of it. I don't care what you say. Some of those covers fucking hit still to this day. And they hit so hard, and you cannot convince me otherwise. So we loved Glee. We watched that all throughout college too, like before it got too much. I feel like a lot of times we watch it consistently, and then it gets too much, and we're like, all right, I'm over this.
I'll wait till all of them are out, and then I'll watch it.
And then like that's how I was about Vampire Diaries. Okay, so Vampire Diaries, spoilers. if you click away if you don't want to listen
Wait,
to it.
I haven't watched all of them either. I'm not going to. Okay, tell
No,
me.
you're not gonna watch it. That's why I was trying to tell you to
I
watch
tried
it
and I was like, it's too much.
well,
and
the girls who get it, but the first like 3 seasons or 3-4 seasons were really fucking good. Like like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 5 is where I started bowing out because I was like, I'm fucking over this. Like it just got too. It's almost like they were trying to keep you intrigued because you cannot keep them in high school forever because they were already in their fucking 30s when they started the show.
That's what they did in the most recent season of Riverdale, because they're like all of them were way too old to be in high school, so they did a time jump, where it's like literally 10 years past or whatever.
So like when Vampire Diaries, I'm team Stefan, all right, so that's where I was rocking with. I was never team Damon. If you are, what is it like to be so wrong? Can't relate.
And so when you watch the first season, he tries to kill her like 3 times. Why would I ever be?
Oh my god. And he tries to kill Stefan a bunch of times too. And I was like, girl, you're making the worst. And
you think I'm gonna forget about that?
She's like, it's the passion. I'm on. You're fucking Stefan all the time. You're telling me that you don't have passion with him? Sure. Anyways, so throughout that whole thing, I was watching it consistently. Once they officially, like, I swear to God, there's a scene where they go, I guess we'll just be friends forever. And then he goes, yeah, that's where I clicked off. I was like, I am never fucking watching this show again.
Her and Stefan?
Yeah, because then they start sharing this vision or something where they're both human together and they're living like a human life. And they were both literally like, oh, okay, if we were both humans, we would be together. But since she turns into a vampire later on in the show, she ends up becoming a vampire.
That's why she picks Damon?
Yeah, because the vampire.
But then how do they write her out of the show?
They kill her off. That's what happens.
She dies?
She doesn't die. She like goes into this eternal sleep, something like that, where she like basically her life is tied to Bonnie's. This is the ending, essentially, in a nutshell. They tie her life to Bonnie's. It's like a curse or something. So as long as Bonnie lives, she's gonna be in this catatonic state where she's alive but she's asleep and she will not ever wake up.
After rewatching the first few seasons, that's what she gets, because poor Bonnie.
And Bonnie, oh dude, Bonnie was in the fucking trenches. Bonnie was sacrificing everything for everyone. I was like, if I was Bonnie, I'd be like, fuck this friend group, bro. Like I'm
gonna kill all of you and then I'm
always suffering. Bonnie suffered every single episode of every single season. It was a fucking horrible story arc for her. I'm so glad they kept her alive as long as they did, because as far as I know, I think the writer tried to kill her off a bunch of times because she was racist.
Not only that, but they made her wear wigs or made her wear her
they
hair
fucked up her natural hair.
Poor thing.
Because she wouldn't hire black makeup artists or hairstylists either. Whole drama. So I'm so glad that Bonnie stayed alive throughout all like 8 seasons or whatever. And then at the very end, like basically Elena tells Bonnie, she's like, you've sacrificed so much for me, let me do this for you, which is so fucking sad. I watched like the very last scene and they go back in time. So like she goes into their visions, basically, like when they hold her hand they can see her in their minds, right? So they all go back to like the very first time they connected with her. Dude, it's so good, like beautifully ended. I just hated everything in between. Like but she like basically like gives everybody a proper goodbye and tells them like, I'll see you guys when Bonnie dies, which is like she's human witch, so she'll die when she's like 80, 90, 100 years old. And so in vampire years, that's like nothing. So that's how it ends. But I just don't like that she ended up with Damon. Boo, boo, tomato, 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 boo. So that's how I feel about that. But Vampire Diaries was something that was really good. So like, I mean, I liked it up until like season 4, 5, something like that. So but those are like that show and like Glee were like ones that we were watching. I mean, she wasn't really watching Vampire Diaries, but I was.
No, and you didn't really finish Glee. I finished all of Glee.
Exactly.
Like when they were New York and stuff. Yeah.
Same with Glee. I bowed out at like, I think like season 6, 7, something like that. How many?
There's that many? I don't think there's that many.
I'm pretty sure. I thought there was 7 seasons of Glee. I don't know. We really loved it though in the beginning. So like
I loved it for the whole thing. Yeah.
Really? Even the end?
Mm-hmm. Like I liked all the new guys. No one liked them, but I did. I liked.
I was gonna say once all the main people started leaving, that's where I was kind of like, I'm out of here.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So anywho, those are all our favorite comfort shows. We love to talk about TV and movies, obviously.
Yeah. And so we just wanted to wrap it up with making sure that you're being emotionally aware of how shows affect you. So Drew's very like hyper aware, like that would not sleep for 6 months if I watch it before. So like, and then we were talking about earlier, like I became obsessed with Succession like 2 months ago because the new season came out and I wanted to be in on all the jokes.
Yeah.
And so
story of my life.
I realized when I was watching it too much, I would dream about it as if I'm in the company and I'm trying to figure out how to run it and stuff.
Oh my God, if I had a nickel.
So we were talking about, like, my mom was like, well, don't watch it before you go to bed. Like, watch something funny right before you go to bed after you watch Succession or whatever it is. You know?
Yeah.
So we're just talking about making sure you're emotionally aware, and then don't be afraid to unplug and like really chill out and watch something you want to watch. Like we were referencing, like people who like emulate a lot of toxic positivity online, which was a huge theme for Kat in this last episode of Euphoria.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Deison told me about it and I saw the clips.
Yeah, so don't let the people on Instagram or on the internet make you think that you can't sit down if you've had a really rough day, or even if you're like, I want to have like 10 minutes to watch a show or an hour to watch a show.
And just unplug.
Yeah, and just really chill out and like just hang.
Yeah.
And like just be. Don't be afraid to do that. And don't be afraid to get obsessed with TV shows. I've watched Astra. I've watched like way too much TV.
Yeah.
All of last year, even on like Amazon Prime. Like we didn't even talk about shows I watch on there. Like, so there's just so much good stuff to watch that you get to learn and grow. And I have to mention my favorite TV show of all time is Fleabag. I don't know how I didn't mention that earlier, but I've never wept as much as I have watching a TV show. But that's a really good show. It is stressful, but it is a really good show.
Yeah.
And then me and Drew love a good reality TV show. We love Drag Race. We love The Voice. The Voice
this year was so good. Ariana Grande is
carried the entire show.
Paramount judge. She's
the only reason that we watched this season.
That is true. She is the only reason that we watched the show, but it was so good. Like so good. We had so much fun watching that. That's why I was like, Jason was like, you don't watch shows and keep up with them. And I was like, I watched The Voice.
Mom,
and she was like, that's the end. She's like,
it's a reality show. She puts the spoilers on her story. It doesn't count.
Well, honest to God, I was kicked out of Instagram for a while, so take that.
No spoilers on my end.
Yeah, so no spoilers on my end because I was locked out of my Instagram account. So.
Stupid.
But that's like she was telling me, she's like, that doesn't count because it's a reality show, which is true. So I was like, all right. Well,
another good reality show is Legendary. It's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
It's with Meg The Stallion, Luxury Law.
That's right.
And Jamila Jamil. And Naomi something. She's a really famous queen. I don't know how to describe her.
Drag queen.
Yeah. No, she's not a drag queen.
Oh, okay.
No, they do it's ballroom dancing.
Ballroom dancing, yeah. So like voguing and stuff too?
Yeah. So they vogue, they walk, they do runway walks, it's like basically what they do in Pose. So it's like ballroom dancing. That's not what it's called. I know it's called ballroom.
I did watch Pose,
which was really good.
I watched Pose. I watched
but also really seasons, heavy. Right? Yeah, I'm waiting for them to put the last season on Netflix.
Okay, I watched the first two. Yeah, I watched both seasons. I watched season 1 too. That was the one. That one was really heavy too. But I really loved that show, so I wanted to watch it. So that one I was okay with. But
okay, so y'all, this is the end of the episode. It was a quickie. We just want to talk about something funny and lighthearted and sweet.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any TV shows that you like and you want us to watch, please send them to us because we are always. Well, no, send them to me because Drew will not watch them, and then I'll tell Drew. But, please send them to us because I'm always looking for something new to watch. And
also make sure that you tune into Daison's Instagram story on Mondays so you can see Euphoria recaps every Monday.
I'm gonna try and do like Euphoria eye makeup. I have very basic understanding of makeup.
Love it.
Anyways, thank you all so much for listening to episode 4. Come on. And please make sure you rate and comment or review our podcast on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. If you have topics you want us to talk about, please send them to us on Instagram. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.